Now, I would like to talk about something I wrote on the train coming home the other night, and it's relation. I titled it "The Cost of Police Corruption and the Coerced Narratives," and it's quite interesting. It stems from the Greenfeed's Ian Lever's case and the Ralph Christie's case, and it got me thinking quite a lot. I was thinking more about how narratives are pushed. So this is what I wrote. Just bear with me because it's in scribbles. We all want to believe that the systems built to protect us are fair, honest, and accountable. We want to trust that when the police speak, they speak the truth. But today, I want to talk about what happens when that trust is broken. When corruption, coercion, and narrative building, when you focus on narrative building, replace integrity, evidence, and justice. Because the moment police decide on a first story and gather the facts, open bracket, close bracket, fingers in the air, later, justice is no longer justice. It becomes theatre. It becomes performance. And the public, all of us, become the unknowing audience, applauding a script we never asked to see. Police corruption doesn't always look like money changing hands or dramatic scandals, in my opinion. Sometimes it's quieter, more subtle. It's the pressure placed on a vulnerable witness or witnesses. It's the suggestion whispered in an interview room. Examples I use: are you sure you didn't see this? Are you sure you wasn't there? Are you sure that's what you actually felt you saw? Are you sure that was what you believed? Perhaps is another word that police use. It's the shaping of statements to fit a narrative already decided long before the truth has had a chance to breathe. And once the narrative is set, it spreads. You imagine from witness to witness to witness to witness. It travels through reports, through press releases, through headlines. It becomes a version of events that the public accepts. Not because it's proven, but because it comes stamped with authority of the police. We buy into it without realizing it. We repeat it. We defend it. We decompartment it. Sensationalize it, I should say. Not because we're foolish, but because we've been conditioned to trust the badge before we question the facts. But what happens when the narrative is wrong? What happens when the truth is inconvenient? What happens when a life, or many lives, are destroyed because the story mattered more than the evidence? Coerced witnesses don't just distort cases, they destroy them. They create wrongful convictions, they silence innocence, they allow the guilty to walk free, and they fracture communities who already feel unheard, unseen, and unprotected. When corruption enters policing, and corruption does on many different levels, the stats speak for themselves. Even in small doses, it poisons the well for everyone, including the good officers who serve with honour. Because trust, once broken, is not easily rebuilt. And without trust, policing cannot function, albeit it does, even though many people don't trust the police or the court system, in fact. Justice cannot function, society cannot function, albeit we do, in this current fashion. As people, we must be brave enough to say this out loud. A justice system built on coerced narratives is not justice. It is injustice wearing a uniform. But I'd like to think there's a hopeful part. We're not powerless, and we can demand transparency and accountability, but it is in this country so difficult to get. We can demand that evidence speaks louder than assumptions, and that witnesses speak without fear, pressure, or manipulation, albeit we know that many witnesses are coerced into a narrative inadvertently, without even knowing sometimes. We can refuse to accept the easy narrative simply because it comes from authority. We can ask questions. We can challenge inconsistencies, which should happen. Any decent citizen will do that. We can stand by those who've been silenced or misrepresented. Because justice is not a performance. Justice is not a story crafted to fit a headline. Justice is truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable. So what I say is, be open-minded to understanding that the narrative is not always correct. And in what I believe in the Greenfees case, and also the Ralph Christie's case, albeit they're somewhat very different, is that the narrative on Ralph Christie's case was constantly moving, like the roll of a dice. Where do we go next? How do we deal with the next thing? In the Greenfees case, the narrative was set and the position was set from day one, and everybody told their line, and it helped the people that were there on the night to follow that narrative wholeheartedly. And that's all I've got to say.